Welcome to Major Discussions. I'm your host, Fega Koturetsky. I'm here with my co-host, Melinda Brancato. Major Discussions is the show that explores the stories of students right here on campus.
Tonight we have a special guest who you may have heard of before if you keep up with the women's hockey team here. Joining us is the one and only Dominic Perrone.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. We got the green lights for the women's hockey team. You know, you're a pretty interesting guy. I know you outside of this show here. Got music class together, but...
And I don't know you, but it's really great to meet you.
That's fantastic to meet you as well.
It's not the first time, but it's great to get to know you more in the process of making the show. It's very exciting to have you on.
It's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah,
it has
been.
Great experience. I'm just very
We have a great environment.
We do, yeah. It's a fun set here. I think our crew would agree. I hope they would agree. All right. So we've just established I know you pretty well, but let's let our audience get to know you. So I'm going to roll right into our first question. Where are you from, Dom?
So I'm from a rinky-dink cow town called Fabius, New York. It's about a half hour southeast of Syracuse. It is quite literally a one-road town. We don't have any traffic lights. We have stop signs. You know, my graduating class was 43 kids. The people that I really grew up around were, I had a family of 6, my 2 parents, and I had 2 older sisters and 1 younger brother, all of which have since graduated from Fabius Pompey High School. Spent a lot of time down that way. I moved up here just recently. My father was in the fire department there, so I spent a lot of time around that community. It's been, a lot of fun growing up there. That's where I kind of became who I am today, and moving out, seeing new things is really exciting for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
You mentioned your father's a firefighter. How did that affect you growing up?
So with my dad being in the fire department, he's been a firefighter for longer than I've been alive. So he's been doing it for a long, long time at this point. But, I grew up around Fabius Fire Department, and the people who were in Fabius Fire Department, who still were, they were an extension of my family that I knew weren't actual relatives, even if I did call them aunt or uncle. So growing up around those folks got me really interested in working alongside them, because I wouldn't go on calls before I joined, but I was with them helping out here and there at barbecues, field days, whatever it was. So when I turned 18, I decided to make it official, and I wanted to, finally join myself and help out the community. So at 18, I joined with my dad, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's incredible. I mean, my grandfather was the deputy chief here at Oswego for a very long time. So I definitely appreciate what you do on a personal level.
Thank you.
But there's something else I want to kind of touch on. I did some digging. You didn't come out right with this. I mean, this is a huge deal. It's my understanding you won a Medal of Honor?
Yes. So there was a call that had gone out, a rather difficult one, last September, and the crew that responded to that call, we were all honored by the Firemen's Association of the State of New York. We were honored by the Onondaga County Volunteer Firemen's Association. We were awarded the Medal of Honor by both parties, and we were given the EMS Provider of the Year by the Firemen's Association of the State of New York, FASNY, as they call it.
That's incredible.
Wow. It's incredible how humble you remain, even considering all of this, and obvious that you have a very giving personality. So what are some other ways that you give back to the community, even though I'm sure it's hard to top what you already do?
So I'm a musician. I play the piano. I'm a guitarist. I was in my high school bands for as long as I was in high school and middle school. But I play at bars and restaurants. I do some singing. I do no dancing because I have to play the instruments. But I was in a lot of local musicals and plays when I was still back in Fabius. And I was a Little League umpire. I was an umpire for a lot of the Little League teams around Fabius before COVID had hit, because I like being around the game of baseball, and it was good to stay in that spot. It was a lot of fun.
That makes sense. Kind of trailing back to the artists and music and things like that. What's a particular artist you think has really influenced you?
So my main guy is Billy Joel. Billy Joel, in my opinion, is the greatest singer-songwriter of all time. There is nobody who will ever top him. That is my opinion. though I've heard otherwise. I know some people who don't particularly like Mr. Joel, but you know, he's not the only guy that I really look to in terms of, you know, musical inspiration. Or, you know, Freddie Mercury was a big one of Queen. I really like listening to Frank Sinatra. I like listening to Dean Martin, Bobby Darin, oldies. Big time oldies guy, you know. I'll listen to Van Halen, I'll listen to Guns N' Roses, but, you know, Billy Joel and every single one of his albums. It's my thing. My Instagram handle is Dom the Piano Man.
What's your favorite song from Billy Joel?
That's a fantastic question. So there's a couple.
Is it Piano Man?
No, it's not. So Billy Joel hates that song, and so do I.
Why?
Because I have to play it so often.
How could he?
Because he has to play it so often. I mean, every single concert he ends it with it, and he goes, "It's just a bunch of silly limericks," and he's right. But my favorite Billy Joel song is "Summer Highland Falls," which is off of his Turnstiles album. It's a beautiful song that he wrote before he plays it in concert. He goes, "This is for all the manic depressives." And it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Give it a listen if you get the chance.
Oh my God! Wow, you know you got a lot to say there, and I had a fun time listening to you. But when we come back, we're gonna get more into Dominic Ferrone. So stay tuned.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day.
Okay.
It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
1310 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions for Tanner Spink.
Go to 2 and 1.
2 with 6 and 10 on the year.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Major Discussions. Melinda and I are here with Dominic. We're going to get right back into it. All right, Dominic. So we know that you're from the Syracuse area and you're extremely involved in your community, but what made you want to come to SUNY Oswego?
So I initially went to Monroe Community College out in Rochester. Great school, fantastic for the arts, theater, art itself, and broadcasting. And my first thought was to go to Syracuse, and you know, that's where Bob Costas studied. That's where, you know, that sort of thing. But when I looked at, you know, the price difference and the, you know, the realistic ability of me going to Syracuse or Oswego, Oswego was the clear choice. And I mean, the names that come out of this place: Steve Levy, Al Roker, Jerry Seinfeld even went to Oswego for a little while. He never graduated, but you know, that's a big name to pass through Oswego. So I'd gone for broadcasting out in Monroe. I came here to do for broadcasting. I'm with WNYO, the radio station here. I do the women's hockey games. I'm the play-by-play announcer for that. And I'm hoping to get more involved in TOP and NYO as my last few years go on, because I'm currently a junior in my standings in class so far.
Wow. I mean, I can't imagine you weren't active at Monroe given your track record. So do you have any particular experiences that have kind of shaped your goals as a broadcaster?
Sure, yeah. Over at Monroe, I had a radio show that they called Deep Dives with Dom Perrone. All I did basically with that was I would sit down in the booth, I would play oldies, and then I'd play one specific song, and then I would go on about, how it was written, by who, because sometimes you get songs that were written by different members of the band. You go through, the story behind the lyrics or some fun facts about the songs. I was able to pull up a lot of fun stuff that you could talk about for a few hours on air, and it was a fun little show. I've done voice work. I did books on tape for First Act Audio out in Syracuse when I was 9 years old. I did books for Bruce Coville, one particularly called Duffy's Jacket. That one was a lot of fun. I did a lot of musicals and dramas when I was in Fabius. I did a lot of, I definitely put myself out there as a performer. I was in chorus, I was in band, I did anything and everything that I could to be out there. So I've been always kind of working towards the broadcasting degree.
Yeah, wow.
Definitely. I think you and I actually have some similar goals of producing positive content with our work. It's a completely different lens on life when you approach things with a positive viewpoint, which you don't always necessarily see in news. So how do you find the good in things when it isn't necessarily obvious?
That's a really good question. It took me a while to learn that, because at first, a lot of people's first thoughts are, what's the worst that could happen? And, when you look at things that way, I've found that it only bogs you down in how you're going along life and how you're doing things that you need to do. So if you are able to somehow spin it around and find that glass half full instead of half empty, you're able to work through a lot of things that you couldn't feel like you could, or that you didn't feel like you couldn't, if that makes any sense. You're able to work through stuff that maybe you didn't feel like you could before, with that very positive mindset. I certainly consider myself an optimist, so, it took a while to learn it, but it helps with anything and everything.
Wow. I mean, it's really interesting how you're able to flip those perspectives. I know I sometimes have trouble doing that to a fault. But that being said, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we've got some more fun coming up next.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day.
Okay.
It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
1310 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions for Tanner Spink.
Go to 2 and 1.
With 6 and 10 on the year.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
I hope you stayed tuned after that break. Dominic mentioned he does some impressions in the previous segment, actually having done some professional work in the past. So for this week, I thought, why don't we take a look at the voices in Dom's head? Dominic, I'm going to totally let you take it away with what you do and how you do it.
Sure. Best way to navigate the voices in my head is what I like to call the trip around the world. You start it in beautiful, rainy London, England, of course, where you can see the wonderful sights such as the London Eye, Parliament, Big Ben, perhaps even Buckingham Palace. Go and visit anything you'd like in the city, because then you can take a trip and go see your friend Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay, of course, is someone you can have a bite with to eat in the beautiful city of London. It's a wonderful place, and some place that he would like to take you. No two ways about it. After you're done in England, you can take away over to Ireland, because over in Ireland you can take your time, kiss the Blarney Stone, have a pint with your buds, your mates, whatever you want to call them, because it's going to be a great time out that way. Have a few laughs, have a few songs, maybe get into a scrum or two, whatever you feel in Ireland. Because after you're done in Ireland, you take a trip down to Scotland, and then Scotland you can do anything you didn't want to in Ireland, because you've got the Highland Games. You can throw a caber, which is just a telephone pole. Wait for height, you toss a rock behind your head. You don't quite understand it, but it's a sport there, and it always will be. And when you're in Scotland, you can visit the swamps, because of course if you're in Scotland you've got to visit Shrek. What are you doing in my swamp? You know, that sort of thing. And after you're done in Scotland, of course, you can take a trip over to Germany, because in Germany you can have another pint with your friends, or you can have a much larger pint. Das Boot, of course, is big over there. You can go and visit any place. Berlin. I don't know a whole lot of other cities in Germany, but I have a feeling that since I'm doing the voice, I should. But that's besides the point, because after you're done in Germany, especially in the month of October, you can go over to Russia. And in Russia you can see the beautiful St. Petersburg. You can go and see Moscow, whatever you like. Have a glass of vodka. It is usually on the house. It is a ration in the military after all. Because when you are done in Russia, take a boat or a plane across the Pacific Ocean and you end up in California. Sunny, beautiful coastal cities. I'm telling you, man, it's the best you can get down that way. Have a taco, hit the surf, you know, listen to the Beach Boys, whatever your jig may be, man. Gotta hang loose. Then you take a trip across 66 down into the south. And of course, that's where things get nice and low and slow. Have yourself some nice southern BBQ. End up going to a race down in Bristol. It's beautiful country out that way. You gotta love it. Heck, you can even go on down to Louisiana, where everybody's favorite cowboy is from. Those of you who play Red Dead, you got Arthur Morgan. He's got that long drawl of a voice. You understand? Have a bowl of crawfish with him, he'll be happy as a clam. Sure, then you end up after the South, you go up to New York. Have a trip down to the city. You have a good time. You end up with a couple of pals. Hey, you guys, kind of thing. Because when you're up in New York, you got a lot of names that come that way. You know, Joe Pesci being one of them. Okay, you know, hey, you gotta going with this kind of thing. Because when you're talking to Joe Pesci, you gotta really be able to keep track of what's going on. All right, you understand? Because if it slows down, you end up with Al Pacino. You get a little bit more gruff with everything. You know, hoo-ah, you know. Cockroach, that sort of thing, when visiting the other big New Yorkers. Or, of course, you can visit Al Pacino's father, Don Corleone. If you come to my house on the day of my daughter's wedding and you ask for me to kill, that is not vengeance. Someday, and that day may never come, I may call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, I need more cowbell, because you can't leave New York without visiting, of course, the great Chris Walken. Everybody knows the voice, everybody knows the guy, even if you can't name a movie he's in. That's beside the point, because after you're done with your beautiful trip around the world, head on up to Rochester to the Toy Makers Hall of Fame, and you can see Kermit the Frog. Hi-yo, Kermit the Frog here. It's the Muppet Show with special guest star, Melinda and Fire!
Wow, that was even better than I was expecting. Don't go anywhere, folks. The laughs will continue as we try out a new game up next.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day.
Okay.
It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
1310 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions for Tanner Spink.
Go to 2 and 1.
2 with 6 and 10 on the year.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to Major Discussions. I'm Faye, here with Melinda and Dominic. I'm really excited to be introducing what we've got coming up. Now, this new game is called Crossfire. The concept of this game is essentially rapid-fire questions. As we go around the table pulling questions that we haven't seen before, we'll answer them with the first thing that comes to mind. Now, we don't have time to think about it, so just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
All right, I'm excited. I want to pull the first card. I'm very excited for this game. It sounds like we're going to get a lot of weird responses that, like you said, are not going to make sense. But great thing is there's no wrong answers.
Yeah.
Okay, first question. Would you fake your death to protect your family? Yes or no? That's going to go to Dom.
Would I what?
Fake your death to protect your family.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
All right, let's go. Advice to yourself 10 years ago, Faye.
Things get better.
That's good. That's good advice. That's great advice.
That's great advice.
I'm sorry, it was rapid fire. Okay. Melinda, if you could live in another time, what would it be?
Ooh, I gotta think about this.
Oh, no, you can't.
Oh, shoot, you're right. All right, I want to live in the future where there's great technology and no more COVID. No, COVID's still here. We got a vaccine now.
Good.
That's nice. All right, your biggest pet peeve, say.
Grammar errors.
Grammar errors.
All right. Can't live without what, Mel?
Can't live without my cowbell.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell, so I get it.
Thank you for fulfilling that.
Okay. Dom, favorite holiday?
Halloween. My birthday's right next to it.
Oh, nice.
Alrighty. Say your biggest regret. That's a deep one.
I missed my neighbor's funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Faye, I'm going to come at you with another one. If you could trade lives with someone for a day, who would it be?
Oh, God, no one.
No one.
Nobody.
No
Hey,
one.
you like yourself?
Okay. No, I just don't think anybody has, like, a life worth trading for. I don't know. My life is mine. I have
You
the
wouldn't want to
skill.
switch with, like,
I
a
have the
celebrity or
capabilities. No, absolutely not. Okay.
Okay, fair.
Melinda, cringiest year.
Oh, middle school, 7th grade, baby. We had the glasses, we had the acne, we had the overbite, and somehow still braces. It was horrible. Oh my God. All right. Go-to karaoke song, Dominic.
Big Shot by Billy Joel. You
Of
had
course.
to expect it.
Of course it's Billy Joel. I wouldn't expect anything less.
All right, let's go. Mel, what did you want to be as a kid?
Oh, lots of things. Well, we already discovered the doctor thing wasn't going to work out with the biology major. But I went through, I wanted to be an artist, then I wanted to be a librarian, then I wanted to be a chef, of all things. I can't cook for my life. I'm sorry, I'm Italian, my family. I'm so sorry. But now I'm, into PR, and I'm here on this show, and we're doing things. So
Okay. Okay, Dom, your favorite article of clothing?
My favorite article of clothing?
Yes.
I own the sweater from The Big Lebowski. It is the comfiest thing I have ever worn. It was expensive, and I thank my aunt and my mom for getting it for me for Christmas, but it's my all-time favorite. I will always wear it.
Wow, that's a good sweater. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
All right. First word that comes to mind when you think of the color orange, Faye.
I'm going to say fire trucks, even though they're not orange. They're red. Why am I saying
Wait a minute.
orange?
Because this game doesn't make sense and neither do your answers. It's fine.
Yeah.
It works
All right.
out.
Well, Mel, if you had to get a tattoo, what would it be?
Listen, my dad would kill me, but I would probably try to do like a matching one with my brothers, like a trio, triple thing. I don't know. Something like that.
Oh, sorry. Again, mine. Okay, Dom, the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Rocky Mountain oysters. They would be bull testicles.
Oh.
Fried.
Oh.
They were surprisingly good. I won't lie to you.
What does that even
still
taste
weird.
like?
You got to get past the texture. It's kind of neutral, but it's like a kind of texture.
Oh,
yeah, it's
those
weird.
textures.
You know what my biggest
Yeah.
pet peeve is? That smacking sound in the mouth. Oh my God. Anyway, so what's the worst nickname you've ever had, Dominic?
The worst, oh man. I had a nickname, and no offense to my modified baseball coach, but it was Sheets, like music sheets.
Oh.
And the team did not take it as such.
No, I can't imagine.
It was not good.
Moving on.
Yeah. Faye, first thing you notice about someone when you meet them?
Their eyes. It's so random. I don't know. I just notice people's eyes.
That's so just like
I don't know. I think eyes are really beautiful.
cliche.
What is it? Oh well.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Okay. Mel, you're stuck on an island. What 3 items are you bringing?
A life raft, a cell phone, and
No thinking.
magazine. I don't know.
By the time.
Don't ask me what magazine I'm reading because I don't even read magazines.
That came to your mind.
All right, life or death. Who would you call to save you? 911 is not an option, and neither is the fire department. I'm gonna go to Dominic.
All right. First person to save me? Probably my dad.
Fireman.
Yep. Yeah. I guess that's a loophole. Faye, have you ever stolen anything?
No, I don't. Not as far as I know. Not willingly. Oh no, I borrow my siblings' things sometimes without permission. Well, I'm sorry if you're
siblings,
listening.
it's borrowing.
I'm so sorry.
All right.
But yes, that's happened. Is that stealing? No, I take it back. I don't keep them. Oh, okay. I don't keep them though. Okay, Dom. One thing you have to do before you die.
One thing, skydiving, bar none.
Oh my God, you're
okay.
insane.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I would
cool,
love to
cool.
do it.
Okay, that's our show, folks. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Thanks so much to Dom for joining us here tonight.
You can follow us on our Instagram page, major_discussions, for behind-the-scenes looks and some fun questions throughout the week.
Tune in next week at 9:30 for more major discussions.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day.
Okay.
It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
1310 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions for Tanner Spink.
Go to 2 and 1.
2 with 6 and 10 on the year.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.